welcome to the class. Welcome to the ones who are joining. We're just going to start. It's already 8 p.m. But so happy to have you here. And by the way, all these classes being recorded, and we are going to send you the recording after the class for sure, and a little playbook that I created for you. So why don't we start? So we're just going to get started. And by the way, everyone can drop their questions in the chat box. My team is here, so any questions you might have, please feel free to drop it in the chat box. Be in the online space, want to learn how to go viral, and this is actually something I teach. It's a core of my program. Visibility, it's one of the most important things you can learn how to achieve, how to understand the mechanic. That's why I call it visibility mechanics, because understanding the why behind visibility is the number one thing you need in order to make sure you're utilizing it as a tool and not just, oh, for the sake of the vanity metric. So I'm going to explain all of that. So welcome to the class. I never ever run a class. I never ever do this, but I wanted to run this class, teach you guys everything that I know about it. And my mission here is for you to understand the why, for you to understand the process, for you to understand why going viral is not what everyone thinks, and how to use virality to make money. That's what we're going to do here. Okay, so welcome again. If you don't know me, if you just came across my content, or maybe you've been following me for months, welcome again to the class. I am Ivania. I am a business coach, and I used to be a burnt out working mom. I am originally born and raised in Mexico. Right now, I live in North Carolina. I immigrated in 2022, and I started creating content by the end of 2023. So after a lot of shitty jobs and feeling lost with no purpose, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and create content. Let's see what happened. I ended up learning how to freaking go viral. And I thought that was going to be it. And I thought that was going to fix all my problems. But it turns out going viral didn't fix all of my problems. But I learned such a powerful skill. You have no idea how, it changed my life, and it have changed lives for so many people. I am not talking about virality. It's just one piece of the puzzle. So to give you a little bit of more content, I don't want to make this class about me. I don't want to spend 10 minutes introducing myself. But I, of course, want to give you context. So by the end of 2023, I started creating content. 2024, I started creating content about personal development and relationships. And I ended up blowing up. I ended up freaking cracking the code. Yes. And I just keep using it. And I just keep recreating content. I just kept elevating my skill set. I ended up growing 30K followers in 6 months, making multiple 5 figures with the digital products that I used to sell in a different niche. So I used to post content about personal development and relationships, and I ended up understanding how all of these crazy things work. So here's a few things that I've done. In the past 12 months, I reached more than 50 million views, more than 50 million accounts, 30 million views for my clients in the last 6 months only. As I mentioned, I grew my more than 30K followers in 6 months. I grew my private community from 0 to 40 members in less than 6 months. I help students close 5-figure months, people who literally pay in full 5K, 6K for high ticket coaching programs. And they are achieving these even with a very small following. So I'm going to tell you more about that. I grew up learning hustle. Everything in my life has been hustle since I was 15 years old. My family run restaurants back in Mexico, multiple restaurants. So I know the meaning of hard work, but I came to this country wanting something better and wanting a better quality of life. And I ended up working my ass off here during the first year. And then I learned content and I went viral and everything freaking changed, but not because of virality. Okay. So I'm going to explain why. Okay. So what are we going to learn today? We're going to learn how to turn visibility into a clear, repeatable pathway, because I want you not to go viral just once. I want you to learn and understand the patterns and how to identify what is going to help you go viral. And what are the systems that you need to implement in order to make this visibility consistent and sustainable for you? Okay. The psychology that moves people from attention to action. Okay. Because virality, the first thing is understanding why you go viral, identify those patterns and recreate them. But how are you going to react to that demand? How are you going to react to that attention? What are the systems you need to have in place so things don't collapse? Because for me, they collapsed a few times and it wasn't fun at all. So what moves people from, you get the attention, what happens next? What happens after that attention? Why, and this is a good one, why content doesn't convert without, why good content, aesthetic content, perfectly edited cinematic content doesn't convert into paid clients. There's a lot of creators out there making amazing content, cinematic content, but they are making $0. There are others making great content and they are converting into paid clients, generating multiple 5, 6, and 7 figures. But if they have the system, so it all depends on what's your backend. So we're going to go through that as well. So what's aligned messaging? What aligned messaging looks like and why? If you have confusing messaging, it is literally killing everything, like killing your performance, your opportunity to grow, your opportunity to expand your personal brand, to sell digital products. Why? Everything starts with an aligned messaging. Even with high views, because I experienced that, guys, I was there. I had millions of views. I generated millions of views. But once I understood that I needed a clear visibility pathway, everything changed. It was not after probably the 10th reel that blew up for me that I finally understood why and what I needed to do and how structure makes visibility predictable and profitable. So we're going to go through all of that. And I created a playbook. It's like a Google document for you. Why I did that? Because I don't want to slam like 20 Canvas slides. I want you to stay focused. And I wanted to create something that was like very digestible, like very easy to understand. I'm going to explain phase by phase. And after that, we're going to come back to this presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom. Everything looks good on your end? Nicole, everyone? Great. First things first, why most creators think their problem is low visibility. Probably your problem is not low visibility. The problem is that your visibility have no structure, right? And maybe you're like, yo, yeah, but honestly, I'm not getting any views. I don't even know what to post. I'm overthinking content. I barely hit 500 views. Maybe you have a content problem. We need to, that's why it's important to kind of like review what is happening. But I want you to understand one thing. Not all the problem comes from, oh, I don't have views. It's not that, guys. Like honestly, like, it's not that you don't have views because you can post consistently, you can grow an audience, you can go viral. I went viral multiple times, as I mentioned before. But you can still feel stuck. You can still not sell. You can still have zero leads. You can post for months and months and months without like without anything, like having like zero results. So you can still feel stuck financially, and if there is no clear direction behind your visibility. So the goal is not to chase virality. Of course, everyone wants to go viral, of course, and many of my students come to my program and go mega viral after 2 or 3 weeks of like understanding the mechanics behind it. But the goal is to build visibility that actually leads somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to explain phase one, the visibility gap most people miss. Getting attention is only the first step. Great, you went viral. Okay, what's next? What's next after that virality? If someone sees your content today, and I want you to grab a notepad, I want you to grab something you can like actually take notes, or you can screenshot your screen, because I want you to actually ask yourself these. Why should they follow you and trust you? So just think about it from the consumer's perspective. If they are scrolling and you come across your content, do you think, oh, like, holy cow, like my content is that good that honestly, I wouldn't ignore it. My content is actually serves people. My content is actually that valuable that I want to save it. I want to share it. Would I actually save this post? Every time you're going to post something, think about it. Would I save these? Would I share it? The hook is that good. What happens next? What should they do next after they see that hook, after they see that reel? How are you breaking down your caption? How are you optimizing your caption? What's the language you're using? Can a second grader actually understand everything you're saying in the caption? It's very important. People don't come to social media to scroll to, no one wants to read from Smarty Pants. No one wants a lecture. They want solutions. They are seeking answers, especially if you are a coach, consultant, if you are offering a solution, if you sell a transformation, it's because you come across someone's explore page because they are actively consuming content that is related to your niche. So they are more likely to be seeking for these solutions. So what should they do next after they see your content? What will they gain from you from staying connected with you? Okay, the first step is reviewing your content. Should I follow this person? Is it worth it? They are consuming something. It's free. It's free. Content is free, but they are making a decision. when they see your account, they are deciding if they want to follow you or not. So when these answers are unclear, it doesn't really matter how visible you are, but if people cannot immediately know within the first scrolling your first four reels, if they don't clearly understand what you do, it's freaking confusing. People is not going to follow you if your content is just confusing and is not clear. So this creates the most common pattern online. Content can perform and engagement looks good, but the business don't move. So that is why you probably see many accounts that they have one reel that went mega viral, but then you see the other, like they actually don't have a lot of followers. They actually don't have a lot of like traction because it was just one peak of visibility and that was it. That's not going to take you anywhere. And a lot of creators, coaches, business owners, they are not stuck or they are not growing because they lack talent, creativity, or authenticity. It's because there is no system guiding attention forward. So let's say you have an offer, okay? If you're here, it's probably because you are a coach service provider, online educator, creator, wanting to make money, wanting to launch an offer. Let's say you have an offer, whether this is low ticket, mid ticket, or high ticket. It doesn't matter. It applies to absolutely everything. Once your offer suite is created, the question and systems you must have in place, and I want you to write down these again. Your lead magnet. Let's say you have a freebie, and if you don't, I'm going to explain that. So if you do have a freebie, I want you to ask yourself these. How many opt-ins are you getting per week? Are you actually tracking this data? Are you measuring this data? Number two, is it solving one specific problem? What is the problem your freebie is solving? Number three, how simple is the access and delivery experience? Okay, so what happened after they download your freebie? Who is following up in the DMs? Do you actually have an email campaign set up so you can nurture your subscribers, so you can like constantly remind them, hey, I'm here, I created these. Here is a free discovery call you can book. What happened after they opt in for your freebie? Are you trying to have a conversation with them? Are you asking about their pain, their struggles? What are you actively doing on a daily basis to convert these folks? Okay. What exact journey does someone go through to receive the freebie? Do you have a thank you page? Do you have an email campaign? Like as I previously mentioned, what happened after they click subscribe? If you don't do anything and if you are expecting for people to purchase your product because they downloaded your freebie, that's hate to break it to you, but that's not going to happen. And that's not how it works. The lead magnet is your hook. Just think about it when you're scrolling, and this happened, and you see these every single day. You don't notice it, but you see these every single day. Just think about it when you are in the Nike page and you are scrolling because you want a new pair of running shoes. What's the first thing you see? There's a pop-up that says, hey, subscribe and get 10% off in your first order. That's a lead magnet. The brand is telling you, join my tribe. Come join me. I have something for you. I created something. I want to offer something for you. Or when you want to order Uber Eats, maybe you have never downloaded the app, but the first thing that they tell you, hey, download the app, subscribe, join the tribe, and get your first free shipping. That's a lead magnet. You see these all the time, every freaking where, everywhere. And that's your hook, but that doesn't mean that is going to automatically convert people into paid clients. So if you don't have a freebie, what single problem can you solve quickly and clear? And let me go back to these. Let me go back to what is your lead magnet? Because if you don't have a freebie yet and you want to create one so you can attract people, so you can generate more traction, so the algorithm can push you because you're offering something and you're getting more comments and you're getting more shares and people is actually like interacting, opting in for that freebie. Okay, but how clear is the freebie? If you are offering nervous system regulation coaching services, if you're saying, hey, download my guide to regulate your nervous system, that's vague, that's fluff. If you don't say something like, download this guide and do this exercise for 5 minutes every single morning, and you are going to be able to wake up and feel 5 times more regulated. And you're not going to feel exhausted every morning. And you're not going to feel overwhelmed. And if you are not bringing up their symptoms, if you are not talking about exactly how they feel every single morning because their nervous system is so dysregulated, people don't get activated. If they just see a vague, flat, floppy title, hey, download my guide to learn how to regulate your nervous system. No one is going to, no. You need to be specific. You need to be clear. You need to solve one specific problem. I want you to solve one specific problem. This guide is going to help someone get into the routine and the habit of a 5-minute practice every single morning. The guide is not just learn how to regulate your nervous system. No, what if I need to invest 3 hours regulating my nervous system? I don't have time for that. But if you say invest 5 minutes every single morning doing these 3 specific exercises that I'm telling you, that's a very, very different outcome. Okay, so if you don't have a freebie, what single problem can you solve? What format makes easiest to consume? You can select a PDF, a checklist, a training, a quiz. There's so many ways you can deliver something. You can create a template, you can create a checklist. What is doable for you? What is sustainable for you? What is something you can create easy and quick, and it's not going to make your life 10 times harder? Something that you actually enjoy creating. And then how will it be delivered and automated? Automations are magic and are incredible, but you need to learn how to use them, okay? Because we don't want to build a business that sounds and feels robotic. AI is amazing. I love AI. Automations are great, but I would say 75% of my business is run by humans and is people have actual real conversations with me or my team. So I do rely a lot on automations, but you need to learn how to use them to avoid making your business sound robotic. So your lead magnet is the bridge between visibility and relationship. A lead magnet opens the communication channel with someone and gives you opportunity to have a real conversation with these folks. So we're going to go ahead and talk about step number 2. What happens after someone opts in? What happens? Once your offer is clear, whether this is a low ticket, a mid ticket, or high ticket, you must install a conversion system. So what does that mean? Ask yourself, what happened immediately after someone receives your free resource? How are you continuing the relationship and build trust? How many real conversations are you having per week? If you don't sell on calls, how are you actively, and who is actively following up in the DMs or email? What framework are you using to move people from interest to decision? Again, I'm going to say it like throughout the whole class. If you're expecting a sale to come magically from a viral reel or a freebie, okay, to break it to you, but nope, that's not how it works. Visibility without follow-up does not convert. Oh, Ivani, but how am I going to follow up? Are you conversations? Open a conversation. Ask people things. People just ask the right questions. Have the time, sit down and have a real talk with these people who are opting in. If they are opting in, it's because they are probably seeking for a solution. They are finding answers, and you might have those answers, but you need to talk, you need to get to know them. So whether these are conversations or an email sequence or a DM automation, maybe you want to send a follow-up automation after that freebie was sent. So what are you actively doing to close sales? What are you actively doing to move people from interest to action, to decision? Okay. Again, people buy from people. Human connection builds trust, and automation supports the process, but it doesn't replace relationships. It does not. If you don't have intentional conversations happening weekly, your system is incomplete. So again, people buy from people crave human interaction, and nobody wants to buy from a robot. I want you to take this away from this call because we have a trust issue right now. People just don't want to buy stuff just because they don't trust anymore. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, people used to buy courses like crazy, invest thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. Right now, we are experiencing like a trust issue in the online space. People want to feel seen. People want to feel understood. People want to know they are actually having a relationship, like they are actually connecting with another human that is going to help them go achieve their dream outcome. So moving forward, phase 2, the buyer psychology flow. Every buyer moves through the same sequence, and this is the best part of this class. So I would love for you to pay attention to these, write some notes. I came up with this method that it's called the ADAD. Once you understand this, now you know, okay, it's in my brain. I know what happens after attention, direction, activation, decision. Just remember those 4 words and remember the sequence. Attention is content. You get the views, you learn how to go viral, great, check. I know how to do that. You learn how to get the attention. Your content earns awareness and they notice you, right? They know, they discover you, and that's one of the most powerful things you can learn how to do. Get discovered. Get freaking discovered. That's attention. Then it leads to direction. Freebie. Okay, what's your lead magnet? What's the hook? What's the reason why people is going to give you their information, exchange the email, get into your world? Is it worth it? What am I going to learn from this person? What am I going to learn from gain from this person? So you deliver value up front and give a glimpse of that, what they can achieve with you. We are not going to give away the whole roadmap. You're not going to over educate. They're just going to get a sense of who you are, what you do, and how you can support them. But that is the bridge. Remember, that's the bridge. Okay. Everything leads to the next phase. Attention, direction. Okay. Comment the keyword, whatever is your niche, comment the keyword, regulation. Whatever is the one solution you offer, you create a lead magnet, you create an automation that will help the algorithm push your content even more. So after direction, so comment the word guide and I will send you my guide, my training, my class on how to learn how to XYZ. Great. Bridge is created. Then activation, urgency, curiosity, symptom gaps. What is that? What the heck are you talking about, Ivania? You need to create urgency through your lead magnet, through your content. Your content, you need to have like a complete ecosystem. It's not content, guys. It's a complete ecosystem. What are the resources you offer? What's the experience behind these resources? How are you having conversations? How are you actively showing up every single day? That is not posting a reel. How are you actively doing something to convert these folks? Okay. And how are you connecting with this audience? You need to create that urgency, create that curiosity. Talk about their symptoms. How are they feeling every morning after they wake up? What are their struggles? What are their pain points? You need to learn how to identify clearly your client avatar. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this term, but I would love for you to learn how to develop your client avatar, which is one of the most important things, what it's going to set the tone for your messaging. And talk about the gaps, the mistakes. What are they doing wrong? What are they doing wrong on a daily basis? Why things are not working for them? Why they cannot hit that next milestone? Okay, so that's activation. You need to bring villains. What are the things you are against? Things that is very common to hear in your industry, that is something very disruptive for you. Like you just can't stand it. That's going to make you different. That's your differentiation. So there's so many things that in this ecosystem plays a very huge important role. We need to talk to the primal brain. If you are talking in very complex terms, in terminology that people don't actually understand, sometimes people, they don't know that they have a problem. They are not aware of this problem. So it's important that it's very clear and very easy to understand what you're trying to communicate to them. Again, don't try to sound like a smarty pants. People don't want that. People want simplicity. People want effectiveness. People invest money because they want accelerated results. So are you going to help me like get to those results faster instead of like doing everything myself, figuring it out myself, going to YouTube and trying to figure it out on my own with YouTube tutorials? Like or why is it worth the investment? So we need to talk about all of that in the activation phase. Okay, so many important things that you need to bring up in your content. That is not just a hook. Next is decision, buying decision, the conversation you're gonna have. That's where you are going to make them aware why you might be the solution, why you might be the next best decision. Okay. So it's important when people feel seen, safe, and clear, the buyer takes action. It's not easy to come up with all of these overnight, but you need it. You need it. Let's be real. If you think it's just content, it's just going viral, it's just the views, it's not. You need the complete ecosystem. You need to make them aware of why things aren't working. And you need to make them feel seen, safe, and understood in order for them to feel that, okay, this is the right decision for me. I want to purchase from this person. I want to invest in these. So ADAD again, attention, direction, activation, and decision. Most creators only build attention. That don't make them business owners, unfortunately. If they are not generating revenue, you're just sitting in a distraction. You're not running a business if you're not generating any type of income. You are sitting in something it's a system that is rogue, that is not even a system. You have content. Everyone just says, yeah, start posting, go viral, and your life is going to be solved. Okay, you're going to sell. No, I went viral multiple times and I was still broke. So when you only build attention, it leads nowhere. That is why you need the four phases. You need all the steps, and sustainable businesses build all four stages. I want you guys to create something that feels sustainable and actually enjoyable. I don't want content for you to feel like a burden. So I hope that makes sense. Phase number 3, why hard work isn't translating into revenue. Oh my God, I'm working so hard and nothing is working. Been there, done that. I'm working so hard. I'm following all the tips and tricks and hacks, and nothing is working. I have purchased courses and nothing is working. You haven't. Where's the implementation part? So many creators do everything they were told. Business owners, coaches, trying to sell their programs, their services, posting consistently, following growth advice, buying courses, improving content quality. I swear, I have people who have come to me, some clients, some not, but they are like, honestly, I'm just going to purchase a camera. I'm just going to purchase a camera because it's the quality of my videos. I mean, I don't know what happens with iPhone anymore. The resolution is very bad. My content sucks. It's the camera, and I need to buy a microphone. That is not going to make any difference if your messaging is not clear, and if you don't have the four faces, and if you're not doing ADAD, like none of that, not the best camera, not investing in the best cinematic apps to edit your videos, not following trends, any of that is going to work if you are not creating your ecosystem. Like the camera thing is real. Like I literally talked to someone like last week, and she swear, like, I swear it's my camera. I'm just going to purchase a camera. And I was like, it's not gonna solve anything. Anyways, moving forward. So the real blockers, I kind of like already explained all of these, but on clear messaging, and I'm actually gonna go through these a little bit more in detail on defined digital offer positioning. So if your offer is not positioned right, and you're not explaining specifically the one transformation you offer, it's unclear. And we actually need to validate your offer. We need to make sure your offer is actually something the market is ready to buy. I don't want you to spend 3 or 4 months recording a course, creating an offer, launching something, and then turns out no one wants to buy it. Those are the real blockers. It's not that you're not getting the views. Okay. So clarity creates demand, confusion blocks direction. What's the phase number 2 from our ADAD method? Direction. If your audience is confused, they won't convert, even if they like you, even if they binge your content, even if they enjoy watching your videos. They won't convert if you're missing those things. Okay, so I really want to talk about messaging, but I'm just going to finish this. We're about to finish the document. Stick around, stick with me, because by the end of the class, we're going to offer a few spots for business gap assessments, where we're going to actually review everything for your content, from your content, your messaging, your links, everything, to make sure what is happening and what's leaking. So stick around. The boring part is about to finish. Again, I'm just repeating myself, but honestly, it's so good. Like I just want you to walk away from this class knowing, like, okay, now it makes sense. So visibility mechanics, what captures attentions, how you hook them to stay and watch. That's number 1. And that's something I teach on a daily basis. I teach my students how to generate hooks that are going to actually drive attention. But when they drive attention, I actually told them, okay, we have a few very viral great hooks, but I don't want you to go viral yet. I want you to set everything first and then go viral. I can certainly make you go viral and help you learn how to do it consistently in a sustainable way. So when you don't want to go viral, you know you should not post viral content. But when you do, and you have everything in place and you're ready for it, you know exactly what to post. So what captures it? How you hook them to stay and watch. Number 2, what maintains retention? What makes your audience come back? Because as I mentioned, so I went viral multiple times in 2 different niches. It wasn't luck, guys. It's a strategy. Sorry, like, it's not to brag, but this is not about, oh, she went viral because she's lucky. I did it in 2 different niches, complete different niches. I went from relationships, personal growth, to business, making money online, content creation, complete 2 different niches. In the same account, I know what are the patterns, what are the elements you need to incorporate in each reel to make your content perform good. And how are we going to make these people come back? Okay, because we don't want one viral reel, we want multiple visible reels so you can generate that traction and generate those leads organically. None of these, we don't need any paid ad here. All of these is organic. Number three, what builds trust, authority, credibility, social proof? If you haven't worked with any client in the past, you are your greatest success story. You are your greatest testimonial. I want you to do storytelling smartly, strategically. I want you to build that credibility through your life experience, to your life experiences. I want you to build authority from everything you have experienced, all your years learning, getting your hands dirty. Like, I want you to brag about this. I want you to learn how to freaking brag online in a way that it's going to build authority and credibility and trust. Okay. So what makes you recognizable? What's your differentiation? Why people is going to pay you instead of the other 55 coaches that I came across last week? They are saying the same thing. They are offering the same thing. What is going to make you different? We need to make sure that there is something. It's your secret sauce. We want to come up with your secret sauce. I want that differentiation. This is pillar number one, and this is what makes content performs. And it applies to everything, to every niche. We just need to make sure you are not reposting trends from everyone else. And we need to make sure you are building a personal brand that is going to evolve with time, and that can evolve with you, and that can scale and grow with you. We don't want to create a personal brand only around what you sell. We want to create a personal brand, a business that around who you are. If your brand evolves tomorrow, I change niches, but a lot of people follow me because who I am. And honestly, not to brag, I have a lot of people who still connect with me every month, every week, and I talk to them, and they used to follow me when I used to create content. They are not even interested in what I do anymore, but they follow me because they trust me and they like what I do and they want to learn from me and they want to listen to my perspective, and they are just there because I have built a community and not only a following. So that's the difference. Pillar number two, we're about to finish, and I have a great self-assessment for you. Clear messaging and offer. So really quickly, visibility converts when people instantly understands who you serve, what problem you solve, and what transformation you provide. I mentioned this, I think, multiple times throughout the class, and how they can work with you. It needs to be very clear. And there's a way you can talk about your offer on a daily freaking basis without sounding salesy. There are ways, like I never talk about my breakfast. You don't need to post your morning coffee every single day. You don't need to share your personal life if you don't want to. I mean, it's part of it, but like, I stopped oversharing a long time ago when I realized that that was not gonna, because I have news, guys. If you want to sell, you need to talk about your offer. There's many students inside my coaching program that they still struggle saying, but Ivania, I just don't want to sound salesy. I know it takes time. I know it's a little uncomfortable to just show up, talk to the camera, and just try to sell something or try to make people download your guide. Or I swear I talk about my offer every freaking single day without you noticing it. And I know how to do it without sounding salesy. There are ways, you just need to learn. Comfortable, but it's part of it. It's part of the process. As I mentioned, I have news. You need to talk about your offer if you want to sell, but there are ways, okay? Your digital offer should feel like the natural next step. So if you're constantly talking about what is the transformation you offer, how you help people, how did you embody that transformation? The natural next step is for people, the ones who are really aligned leads, is the natural next step is to learn more about how they can work with you. So whenever you are talking with this person about what you do and how you can support them, it doesn't sound like a pitch, like a confusing pitch. People actually know they are there because they want to learn more about what you do, right? So, and lastly, pillar number three, every single piece of content have a job. Stories have a job, carousels have a job, short form reels have a job, talking heads have a different job. Talking heads is more to build credibility, trust, and authority. Short form is more to get discovered. Anyways, every single piece of content serves a different purpose. So your audience should always know where to go next. We discussed these at the beginning of the training when we talk about your lead magnet, what resources supports them and how they can work with you. Those three things needs to be super clear. So before I hop into the last phase of the that I'm going to talk about messaging briefly, I want you to walk away from this training knowing like the nitty-gritty of it. Okay. So before we move forward to that, I want you to take a few seconds and reflect, and please take a screenshot or wait for me to send you this over or just write it down. Can someone clearly explain what do you do after seeing 2 to 4 pieces of your content? I want you to drop it in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Do you actually think people can immediately know after they see no more than 4 pieces of content what you do? Easy and clearly. Do you have a clear next step for your audience? Do you have a freebie? Are you implementing CTAs? Are you asking people to interact? Are you asking people to save and share? Are you actively doing these on a daily basis? Number 3, does your content intentionally move people toward a relationship and offer? This is honestly the most important one. What are you doing on a daily basis to have conversations with people, to get to know your audience, to understand better their struggles, their pain points, what they want, what's their dream outcome? And number 4, are you building trust with strategy? Like actually building, like working on a plan that is going to help you build that credibility and authority and trust that we discussed previously? Or are you hoping this is going to happen magically? Like, oh yeah, people are going to trust me and I'm just going to sell my products because my reel is very cool. So what are you doing to build that? Like I really want you to ask yourself, would I trust myself if I come across my content? Would I actually, am I actually connecting in a human way with my audience? Am I actually talking about my struggles, my story? What was the transformation that I embodied? You have clear answers. You need to like you really need to sit with it. You need there's a gap. Okay, so I hope this little self-assessment help you. And of course, you should not do it right now. You should do it on another time when you actually can like sit with it and respond to these questions intentionally. And then I'm gonna go ahead and talk about messaging. Fun, 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 fun. All right, so I want to tell you the difference between forgettable message and aligned message. Everyone says, oh, just build a magnetic messaging, just build an aligned messaging. What the heck is an aligned messaging? When we talk about an aligned messaging, we need to call out a specific person. We need to create tension. We need to speak to the primal brain, and we need to challenge the industry norms. And let me explain. Let me break it down. So when we call out a specific person, you are talking to that mom who is burned out, who is trying to make consistent income in her full-time job, but she is exhausted. She wants to learn how to make money in a different way. She wants to break free from the hustle culture. But you are talking to that person, you're talking to that mom, telling her, hey, I feel you. I know every time you want to go to bed with your kid, like you want to go and read a book to your kid at night, but you know you need to respond to that email. You're responding to Slack messages at 8 p.m. at night. And you cannot have peace of mind. You cannot have quality time with your kid and read a book with him or her because you have your brain is connected to work and you're exhausted and this is not sustainable for you anymore. That's how you're calling out that person. You are being so specific and you are talking about her struggles after her 9 to 5 when she comes home and she wants to spend quality time with her kid, even though she's exhausted, but she knows she needs to freaking respond to a few more emails before going to bed and she's done and it is not sustainable. So that is calling out a specific person. Another example, if you say in your bio, I'm just going to say this example and I always say it, but I think it's pretty good and it's pretty clear. If you are a fitness coach and you said something like, yes, I help you achieve your dream body. I help you be consistent at the gym and achieve your dream body. That's so big. Like, please don't. If you are gonna say, hey, I am a fitness coach and I will help you achieve your dream body, what is making you different from that fitness coach? But in the other side, if you say, I help you gain muscle without tracking macros in 90 days, I help you start your fitness journey, gain muscle without tracking macros and restrictive diets in 90 days. Can you guys see the difference? how specific I am being. Like, you're not saying, I'm a fitness coach and I'm going to help you achieve your dream body. No, you're talking to that woman who is tired of tracking freaking macros, who is tired of diets. You are talking to her, telling her, hey, I can help you in 3 months. You can actually make great progress without tracking macros and restrictive diets. I can help you achieve that. I know that you want to gain muscle. So come with me and I will help you do that without restrictive diets and tracking macros. I know you're tired of it and it is not helping you gain any type of results. That is how you call out a specific person. So please go back to your bio right now and review it and make sure that you are not being vague and that you're not being generic and you're calling out a specific person and that you are actually very aware of who your client avatar is. Because if you're a fitness coach and you say, yes, I mean, I help women achieve their dream body, but what, like my dream body for me, like for example, I struggle gaining weight. I am going to hire a coach. I am going to hire a trainer who is going to help me gain a muscle without drinking protein powder, without eating a lot of animal protein, because I struggle eating animal protein and I struggle gaining weight and I struggle gaining muscle because of the same reason. So I'm gonna seek for a very specific coach. I'm not gonna hire the coach who says, "Yeah, I'm gonna help you achieve your dream body," because my struggle is very different to the struggle of the woman who is having a hard time after she gained a lot of pounds. She wants to lose pounds. I want to gain weight. So it's very different. So be very specific who you are helping. Of course, create tension. You need to be polarizing. Your hooks, your content needs to be a little bit polarizing, a little bit controversial. That will help you a lot gain that momentum. Challenge it. You need to challenge the industry norms. What sends you out of orbit? Every time you read something about it, you're like, holy cow, like this needs to stop. I'm sure you stand against something to make sure people actually know what's your perspective because they are gonna pay you and they're gonna work with you because of that. Then we have forgettable messaging, which is literally the opposite. Generic and vague, talks to everyone, avoids strong opinions, and could belong to anyone. If you are talking like everyone else is talking in your industry, no one is going to pay attention because people is just tired of listening to the same things. So make sure you are making a differentiation. Your message should feel like a mirror. People should see their current self, their pain, and their future self in your words. Okay, hope that helps. Okay, and now how buyer psychology actually works. People don't buy with logic. When I was talking about speak to the primal brain, this is actually what I am referring. People don't buy with logic, they justify with logic. They buy with emotion. When they buy when they feel seen, understood, safe, and hopeful. Okay. And your content must speak to the emotional brain. What makes them scared of staying the same place? They need to fear staying the same. They need to desire these transformations so bad. What is going to make your offer foster these emotions? Transformation, belonging, fear of staying the same. How are you going to make people feel safe around you? Like they just want to know if they are in good hands. They don't need a lot of details. They just need to feel that they can achieve. They need to make sure this is doable for them. They need to feel safe, they need to feel seen, they need to feel understood. So most creators focus on educating. What converts is that emotional activation you need to implement in your sales process. Okay, so lastly, we're going to make a quick recap and I'm going to go and explain a little bit of what some of my students have achieved so you can get a sense of what is possible for you. So when visibility have a structure, your content becomes easier to create. You're not overthinking content. You just know exactly what to post and when to post. Your messaging becomes consistent and clear. Your leads become more qualified. You are actually talking to the person you want to talk and work with. You build trust and credibility faster and growth becomes predictable. You know, when you have a reel going viral, I know I'm going to generate a lot of leads and my clients too. So what's the process behind it? How I react to these demand? So it's predictable for you. When you know what's going to happen, we know you have this data already. You know how to react, you know how to respond, you know how much work it needs to be involved. And your brand gets a voice and becomes recognizable. So I basically explain all of these throughout the whole class. But the one thing we want to learn here is, okay, Ivania, but how am I? Yeah, I want to learn how to sell my product. I want to learn how to make people feel seen, safe. Sales become a natural byproduct of that clarity and trust you build through your content. You can have the views, you can have the virality. I'd love that for you to get discovered, to spread that energy, creative energy you have. But you need to implement all of these in order to have that clarity and build that trust for your audience or for your potential clients. So when this is built correctly, you stop chasing, you stop convincing, and you start attracting. It sounds like very like cliche, but it's true. When everything is aligned, your content becomes a lead gen machine. That's what I want for you. I want your content to generate leads on a daily basis. If you are posting daily, you should be able to generate leads daily. You should be able to do that. So if you have the lead gen in place for your business, which is free, organic, 100% organic content, things should not feel like a roller coaster. Things should feel predictable. Okay. You should have that for your business. You deserve that piece. You deserve that. You work so hard every single day. And so I'm going to quickly share a little bit of what happened when I went viral in two different niches and what happened, and then a few other examples of how my clients are doing it. So it's very simple, guys. You just need to install your lead gen system. And if you want to use content for these, of course, we're going to recommend a tool like ManyChat. Um, have your freebie set up. So everything you see here, this is actually a trial reel and have like more than 1,000 comments. So that means that this is actually that reel. Let me go back. So this trial reel that was never posted, it's still a trial reel. I never posted in my feed. Generated over 500 leads. And here you can see all of these comments that have this word grow are actual leads. So I have more than 500 opportunities to have conversations with people. And here are the comments. Half of these comments are me responding to them. So you just chop it in half, 500 leads from one trial reel. Of course, I knew what to post. I mean, we never have control over the algorithm, that's true, but I knew that it was a piece of content that was going to 99% sure it was going to perform. So I just reposted as a trial reel and I got these results, and those are opportunities to have conversations with people. This one was the other I was posting about marriage and relationships and healthy communication for couples, and this got me, I don't know how many, but it was just also crazy. And I generated a few thousands of dollars because when I was back selling products for this niche. So when you implement CTAs smartly, and I'm showing you these because it's possible, even if you change niches, to do it in two different niches. Once you master the skill, once you understand what you need to do, you just recreate it. This is a skill that you're going to develop, that you're going to learn, and you can apply it. That's why I'm teaching, I'm showing you that it's not luck. You need to learn how to do it. For example, here's my automated message, and it was sent 2,588 times. I have a 51% open rate. This is the data you need to track. 51% of people open it. So just do the math. How many people actually is seeing my message? How many people can have a conversation with me? Those are opportunities, okay? Those are leads that can be nurtured and can be converted. So here are a few examples of how my clients are achieving these same results. This is TikTok. This is Instagram. So real estate, home organization, fashion, career coaching. We have different niches inside the program, and it all applies the same. They are using the same system. They are using the same method. They are creating something, delivering upfront, and having conversations and establishing relationships with clients, with potential clients, with leads. So this is TikTok. This one got 7.7 millions of views and a few more millions of views for our client Rena. And then this is from Chrissy. She does fashion. And she's offering a guide on how to like figure out your body shape. So if you notice, this is very specific. A guide on how to come up with your body shape. What's your body shape? So you can actually purchase clothes that fit your body shape. Rena, she's also offering a reset for your home, how to declutter your spaces. Alex, she does real estate. She's offering a template for realtors. Career coach, Craig, we have Craig here. He started working, and after 3 weeks, he is going mega viral, generating hundreds of leads, implementing the same system. So all of these can be possible for you for any niche, any type of offer. It will, of course, it depends. This is created according to your offer. For ManyChat, I had more than 4,000 opportunities to engage in a conversation when all these systems are placed correctly. So if they didn't buy, that's why you have a business ecosystem. That's why you learn exactly what to do when these systems are not generating you a result, when the output is not happening, you know exactly what needs to change because you're tracking data consistently. Final phase of this class. So how organic content creates, I don't know if you're selling high ticket, low ticket, but let's recap. You need to pre-frame your offer, introduce your offer without sounding salesy. You're going to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to do that. You need to pre-handle objections. You need to communicate your offer in a way that it's okay, this is why it is not working right now. You need to be very hyper specific and tell people this is why it's not working and why it will work today if you decide to take action. You need to pre-qualify your audience because they have ever before they ever have a conversation with you, so your life feels easier. If they're going to have a conversation with you, you're going to pre-qualify them via DMs and you're going to know exactly what are their pain points so you can come prepared in the moment you're going to have a sales conversation with them. So by the time someone speaks to you, they should already believe this person understands me, this person has what I need, this is safe, this will work, I am hopeful. I want to be part of this, and learning from this person feels exciting. Those are the emotions that the lead is feeling. Sales comes more naturally and less forced. That's what I want you to achieve. If this feels like something you want to do, if it feels something that you really want to achieve within the next months, you don't have to build this alone. This is exactly what we build inside Social Expansion College, where we go deeper into strategic messaging, visibility pathway, of course, learn how to go viral, content strategy, content systems, sales strategy, which is very fun, very interesting. You don't need more information. You don't need more templates. You don't need more guides. You don't need more YouTube tutorials. You need to learn how to implement these. So I'm going to walk you real quick through the SEC experience, Social Expansion College experience. We have a core curriculum. We have weekly coaching calls. We go deep, deep, deep into sales content, offer suite. We have one-on-one ongoing support with me, with the other sales coaches in the program. We have Slack channels available for you. We have a school community, which is absolutely amazing. You have all of these. And the best part, community, which is priceless. We host different co-working sessions throughout the week. We have one co-working session and one Q&A session and one sales strategy session. You will have your private Slack channel, which I absolutely love because I have the ability to chat with every single student and member of the community on a daily basis through Slack. It's awesome. So before I talk to you a little bit more about my clients, what they have achieved, I want Emily and Nicole to introduce themselves and talk a little bit more about sales strategy before we hop off this call, because that's a very interesting part of the program that a lot of people don't really pay attention to when it comes to sales, when it comes to building your team, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to relationship building. Why don't we start? Why don't you, Nicole, tell us a little bit more about what we do inside SEC?
Yeah, absolutely. So nice to meet you, everybody. My name is Nicole. I'm one of the senior advisors here at the Social Expansion College, and it's such a pleasure to be meeting with all of you tonight. So within the Social Expansion College, I personally make sure that everybody has their own DM scripts. So you have the most meaningful conversations with your leads, and that will actually convert. So we create a framework that is strategically tested in order to ask the right questions to widen that gap from where your lead is at to where we want them to go and make sure that you are the ideal solution, all with the right words. So we do host weekly sales trainings for our students, and I'm going to pass it off to Emily to discuss a little bit more about what the strategy that she does during our weekly sales trainings.
Yay, amazing, awesome. Yes, like Nicole said, it's so good to meet everyone. I'm also one of the senior advisors in SEC, and during our sales trainings, we really provide you with personalized support. So you learn how to create a high converting script, you learn how to establish frame, overcome objections, so your conversations actually move forward a clear decision. And we break down real scenarios, refine your messaging, and really strengthen your positioning. So you're not just memorizing a whole script, and you're definitely building lifetime sales skills. We also give you a personalized support and feedback so you can walk away feeling super prepared and super confident. So I definitely would love to help you all out in those calls.
Thank you, guys. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for introducing the sales aspect of the program. It's honestly, it's gem, it's gold. It's one of the things that most people don't pay attention to. They focus so much on going viral, getting the views, growing a following. But what happened when sales need, like we actually want to move people towards making a buying decision, right? So all of these happens inside the sales calls trainings, weekly live calls, Q&As, co-working sessions, and of course, one-on-one support that we provide via Slack. But this is not about the details. I don't want to discuss more of the details of the program. I want to really show you how all of this is happening and it is possible for you. The students from niches like makeup artist, home organization, I already show you a little bit about Rena, real estate like Priya, who is constantly closing 5 to 6K clients for her high ticket coaching program in the real estate industry. Jessie started from zero back in September, and now back in December, she quits her job and to fully focus on building her coaching business. And she's constantly reaching thousands and thousands and thousands and even millions of accounts. When she started her account back in July, June or July, I'm not sure. So she's very early in the game and she already quit her job. That's crazy. It makes me want to cry. But it's very amazing what our students are achieving inside the program. As I mentioned, Priya, for her high ticket coaching program in the real estate industry with a very small following, generating 10 to 20K months. Rena, that went from a very unclear niche, which is, I think it was lifestyle and fashion. So she's now hitting consistently millions of views across TikTok and Instagram. And Bene, who rebound her Legion system for her makeup business and hit 90K in revenue in just 6 months. So these are just a few success stories. We have many more inside the program. Just wanted to give you a little bit of what is happening inside. This will work if you have been creating content consistently, but you haven't figured out how to make money with it. You want to monetize your expertise and turn it into a digital offer in niches like fitness, real estate, fashion, motherhood, nervous system regulation, spirituality, business, social media, and many more niches. If you want to scale your personal brand in 2026 by becoming freaking more visible, we want people to discover you. If you're a coach, a consultant, a service provider, but your leads are inconsistent and your revenue is unpredictable. If your niche or message feels scattered and unclear, or if you're working a 9 to 5 and want to transition into full-time content creation, selling your expertise instead of your time, like my student Jessie did. So if you're any of these and you are like a heck yes, I want these, what are the next steps? I want you guys to book a business gap assessment. Emily is going to drop the link right now, and we're going to be able to review everything from your content, your offer, your links, what is missing in your messaging to make people say, I need these, how your audience actually perceives your content and where your content is leaking, why it's not converting, why are you not getting the views, or why you're not getting the sales, why you're working so hard but nothing is paying off. We want to make sure you have the right insights and the right feedback, and we want to make this possible for you. Book that business gap assessment so we can review everything for you. We cannot wait for you to join us in Social Expansion College. So I hope this class was very good, that you were able to actually understand what is happening with your content and to just walk away with real insights on how you can actually take action towards improving your engagement, your visibility, get discovered, get those sales. So thank you so much for coming to this class. And I cannot wait to take a look at what you have created. So book that business gap assessment, and I'll talk to you soon.